Greetings, everyone. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes,
Good to see
welcome
you,
back
man.
from assignment,
It's
Craig.
good to be back in the saddle here.
Daniel Pineda here.
And my name's Adele Quo.
And here we go with our show, our last show in
April!
And our Earth Day show, I guess, for 2019. Thank you for joining us. We hope
you.
you're having a nice week and enjoying the weather this springtime. It's been beautiful outside, very nice. Okay, here we go. Usual lineup, suspects as noted here. Our news and community bulletin board, and Adele is here for another installment of
It's Easy Being Green.
Indeed it is. CBB, as I mentioned. A roll-in from Denise reviewing the theater production of Junk. Our News for Seniors segment. And then our styrofoam mom, Miriam Gennari, talking about and with the folks from Spread the Vote. And that's our show. Before we begin, a social media reminder from my partner over here, Senior Pineda.
Welcome back. Remember that song?
Welcome back.
I love that song.
Okay, you got to move. We got to move on now. He's panicking back there behind
You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our very own YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. Also facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News and also on the radio.
And also on the radio, WERA 96.7 LPFM. We're in your ear. Check us out. Okay, here we go as promised. News items. Number 1. Well, for those of you not aware, Arlington sends all of the materials in the black trash carts to an incinerator in Alexandria. Going forward, Arlington may no longer accept glass in the blue recycling bins. It would be placed, the glass that is, would be placed in the black trash carts. Okay. Instead of shifting glass from recycling to the waste-to-energy, or WTE, incinerator plant, Alexandria will continue collecting waste glass with its recycling at curbside until, and we're quoting now, quote unquote, the market improves. Alexandria also has established 4 drop-off centers for waste glass. Waste glass collected at the drop-off stations will be taken to Fairfax County Processing Plant, which will reuse or repurpose the glass into gravel and sand. And that's an update on waste glass. More on this story as it develops. Daniel.
Well, Craig, the 75th anniversary Walk for the Animals will be held on June the 8th, but early bird tickets will be available until midnight on April the 30th. The cost of early bird tickets is only $35, a $10 discount from the day of walk charge of $45.
And Daniel, also in our news items, here's more good news for Arlington Independent Media. Check this one off on your good news count. The equipment grant money that was requested in June of 2018 and was promised last December finally arrived in February of this year, February 26th to be exact, of 2019. The check will be used for repairs and upgrades of current equipment along with some new computers needed for continued training. So that's good. The money came in. Daniel.
Well, Craig, on April the 23rd, the Arlington County Board voted to increase the real estate tax rate by 2 cents. The new rate will be $1.026 per $100 assessed value, up from the previous year's rate of $1.006. One purpose of the increase will be to close the budget gap reported earlier by the Arlington County School Board. The rate increase, coupled with rising assessments, will cause the owner of a typical Arlington home to pay 3.2% more in real estate taxes.
Well aware of that one. All right, thanks, Daniel. We'll be back with CBB right after we hear from Adele Quo in another installment of
It's Easy Being Green. Green. Yes, it is. It's great
Here's
to be
Adele.
green right around Earth Day. Welcome back, Arlington, to It's Easy Being Green. My name's Adele Quo. And since 1987, Arlington has identified and registered its most exceptional trees, as well as the residents who care for them. The county will designate 24 of these trees as the 2019 Notable Tree Winners at the recessed Arlington County Board meeting Thursday, April 25th at 3 p.m. Trees may be nominated for their size, age, species, historical interest, or because they have a special significance to the neighborhood. Since the program began, more than 480 trees have been nominated and 332 have made the list. You can view the 2019 notable tree winners and the previous year's winners on the county website, which is environment.arlingtonva.us/trees/support-trees. Wow, /make-notable-tree-nomination-today/2019-notable-tree-winners. Wow, that's a lot of dashes and slashes. I think you can just kind of Google notable trees and it should come up. That's right. So if one could plant only one tree, hands down, it would have to be the most grand of them all. And that would be our Virginia native Quercus alba, or the white oak. Historically, white oaks dominated our natural tree canopy with other oaks, the tulip tree, and hickories. White oaks once rivaled the California redwoods. The acorns produced are generally, the trees are between 50 to 100 years old. The white oak acorn is edible and was used widely by Native Americans and early settlers to make bread, cakes, and porridge. This tree was also extremely valuable timber for construction and was also used to create furniture, and the stripped wood was used for baskets and chair bottoms. The white oak is forever earned its place in history books when it was combined with other oak lumber to build the famous USS Constitution, also known as Old Ironsides. And even in World War II, the white oak served our country as the keels of minesweepers and patrol boats. It is still a preferred wood for those beautiful wooden barrels found in our wineries and whiskey distilleries across the United States. The white oak in particular is a personal and industry favorite because of its high value. The white oak makes a great long-term investment. It can live for centuries and provides the highest environmental benefit to Arlington, with high rates of stormwater interception, air infiltration, reduced air conditioning costs, increased property values, and yes, health benefits. A single 30-inch diameter white oak can provide close to $30,000 in benefits over its lifetime. Dr. Talamy provides research on the wildlife benefit that the white oak provides the most significant food value and homes to a full range of animals, such as our friends Joe Tree Frog, insects, and birds. They are absolutely outstanding trees. So plant more of these majestic white oaks. And remember, it's easy being green.
I've got some white oaks, little sprouts coming up out of the ground. I'll be glad to give you one if you want one.
Let's definitely increase our white oak canopy.
They're amazing. They're majestic trees, and I have another one over on my driveway that's got to be at least 150 years old.
That's amazing.
And by the way,
might want to nominate it for a notable tree.
Well, maybe it doesn't have a great crown, but go ahead, sir.
Happy Earth Day.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, very busy times when it's Earth Day.
He's panicking behind camera one. Now we
Okay.
got to move right along. Thanks, Adele. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Look out for those notable trees. They're all over Arlington here. Here we go. As promised now, our CBB Community Bulletin Board file number one, item number one. Looking for a job in Washington? Well, Job Fair Pro has teamed up with Best Hire Career Fairs for a massive job fair featuring top employers from all over the district. Meet potential employers, network with other job seekers, and learn about what you need to do to land that perfect job. Multiple industries, including accounting, video production, biotechnology, telecommunications, and a lot more will be there. This is taking place on Thursday, May 2nd at 11 in the morning at, where is it? Crystal City Marriott. And it'll run all day long down at the Crystal City Marriott at Reagan National. They're at 1919 Jefferson Davis Highway. Attendance is free for job seekers. So check it out. That sounds like a good one for you job seekers. Daniel.
You might need a GPS, right?
You might.
While feeling stressed lately, We have just the solution. The Arlington Department of Human Services will teach you about factors that can affect your mental health, such as anxiety and depression, as well as methods for dealing with them. This is all taking place on Monday, May the 6th, from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. in the Westmont Room Columbia Pike Branch Library, located at 816 South Walter Reed Drive. Attendance is on first come, first basis.
And Daniel, also in CBB, with important elections coming up, there are a lot of things to consider. Join an expert panel as they examine and discuss various factors to consider and challenges that we will be facing in regards to election security. Topics covered include voting security, how to handle an anticipated surge in voters, and laws considering who can vote and when they can vote. This is all happening on Monday, May 6th from 3 to 4 in the afternoon at the Barbara M. Donellan Auditorium at the Central Library, 2015 North Quincy Street. Check it out. Daniel.
Well, Craig, didn't get enough of the cherry blossoms this year. Man, they were beautiful. In honor of Asian Pacific Heritage Month, Cherrydale Branch Library is hosting an event where you can actually paint beautiful cherry blossoms with watercolors and recycled bottles. Make sure to wear clothing that you don't mind getting dirty, as this event may be very messy. That's taking place on Wednesday, May the 8th from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. in the loft of the Cherrydale Branch Library, located at 2190 North Military Road. Register online for free to reserve your spot. For more information, just give them a call at 703-228-6330. And thank you so much to Jordan Kuharski for contributing our CBB stories. He always does such a great job.
Thanks, Jordan. We appreciate it. All right, that's it for CBB. We'll be back with news for seniors. Don't go away. They're coming up right after we hear from Denise and her thoughts on junk.
To see junk at Arena Stage is to revisit the Wall Street scene of the 1980s, when high-yield junk bonds, debt as an asset, insider trading, and hostile takeovers became the norm. Ayad Akhtar's bold new play follows slick trader Robert Merkin, played by Thomas Keegan, as he sets out to take over Emerson Steel, owned by Thomas Everson Jr., portrayed by Edward Giro for his client Israel Peterman. The play is introduced by a young journalist, Judy Chen, played by Nancy Sun. She interviews many of the giants of the financial scene for a book she is researching, and becomes romantically involved with Leo Tresler, who acknowledges that his wealth is his power and uses it to successfully woo Ms. Chen. Tresler loathes Merkin and attempts to foil his takeover plan. Junk is a thriller of sorts, with an in-depth look at the financial jousting of this era. It's a battle of distinctly different business types. The playwright has created a cast of traders, lawyers, executives, investors and collaborators, and law enforcers, hoping to topple Merkin's empire without resorting to one-dimensional characters. It tackles anti-Semitism in the financial world and draws female characters as smart and savvy as they navigate their paths through a man's world. Merkin could be simply written as a greedy tyrant. Instead, Akhtar has given him a big dose of charisma and the ability to be a loving husband and caring father as he ruthlessly intimidates investors and destroys executives. We are impressed as he recalls his $800 million earnings and stunned when he casually imagines subprime mortgages when he is in prison. Sound and lighting often seem like subtle elements of a play's design. In Junk, they make a bolder impression. Often the characters in a scene are bathed in a glaring bright light, while the sounds of telephone conversations, surreptitious meetings, and volatile arguments are perfectly in tune. The percussive beats heard during scene changes are even more effective in the way they keep the tempo and the tension of the play at fever pitch. An irony of this production of an all-American tale of greed is that it is directed by Canadian Jackie Maxwell. Junk continues at Arena Stage through May 5th. see it to experience the thrill of Wall Street in its most cutthroat maneuvers. I'm Denise Pringle. Now back to the news desk.
All right, thanks, Denise. Denise Pringle, our theater reviewer, and her thoughts on the production of Junk. Down at Arena Stage. Thanks, Denise. We appreciate it. All right, here we go. As promised now, News for Seniors. News for Seniors glasses. Got them in place. Here we go. Item number 1, bees. Yes, busy bees are hardworking pollinators and pivotal to the well-being of the environment. While most would associate beekeeping with country living, there are several urban beekeepers such as Paul Deal. He'll be presenting a program about beekeeping and its benefits and risks. That's coming up on Tuesday, April 30 at 11:30 in the morning at Lee Senior Center. They're at 5722 Lee Highway. For more information and registration, give them a call at 703-228-0555. Daniel.
I love April 30th. It's also my brother's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Well, on to our next story. Here's an opportunity to get a behind-the-scenes tour of the Aurora Hills Library with branch manager Michael Davis. The tour begins at the Aurora Hills Senior Center with light refreshments. Then, before the library opens the day, Mr. Davis will actually describe the services, programs, and resources offered at the library. And then prior to the tour, folks will have an opportunity to get a library card. That all takes place on Wednesday, May the 1st. That's at 10:30 in the morning, beginning at the Aurora Hills Senior Center, all located at 735 18th Street South. For more information, just give them a call at 703-228-5722.
All right, Daniel, next up in News for Seniors. Do you like folk music? Well, here's your chance to enjoy it. Folk music is highlighted every Monday at Lee Senior Center, beginning with the Just Playin' Country musicians. They feature traditional mountain music with Irish, folk, and blues. And they play from 11:15 till 1:15, right there in the middle of the day. This will be followed by a folk music sing-along, which is usually lots of fun, from 1:30 to 3:30. That's all happening at Lee Senior Center. They have a number of musical groups who perform throughout the week, such as the Rocking Chairs and a grown-up garage band. They are, rather, a grown-up garage band that loves rock and roll. Take 2, rock and roll. The latest edition is a drumming circle, which will begin on Tuesday, May 14. For more information and just to give them a call and talk to them down there at Lee Senior Center, they've got a lot of great programs. 703-228-0555. Daniel.
My favorite story, drum roll please.
Drum roll.
Yes, it's pickleball. Pickleball classes for absolute beginners, that's me, are open on Mondays from 9 to 10 a.m. at the Arlington Mills Senior Center. They're also held on Mondays at the Walter Reed Community and Senior Center. That's from 9:45 to 10:30 in the morning. For more information, give them a call, the Arlington Mill. That's at 703-228-7369 or Walter Reed at 703-228-0955.
And finally, News for Seniors. Well, there's a group of seniors that are interested in photography, and they meet almost every Sunday at either Arlington Mill or at local area landmarks. While they were there, they improved their skills with photography enthusiast Diadem Lens. For more information, email photossunday2016@yahoo.com or call Arlington Mill at 703-228-7369. And as always, thanks to Judy Masabny from OSAP for sending us these announcements. We appreciate your efforts, Judy.
Love you, Judy.
Thanks very much. All right, we'll be back with bye-bye and sign-off right after we hear from our Styrofoam mom. Here's Miriam Gennari.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. Our voting rights are something a lot of us take for granted, but disenfranchisement for any citizen really affects the overall democracy of our country. And joining me today from Fairfax, Falls Church, Alexandria, and Arlington are Chris, Carol and Lori, and they represent Spread the Vote Virginia. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you're doing. But you know, a lot of people, yours is a new organization, a lot of people don't know about you. So Chris, could you tell us what Spread the Vote is doing?
Sure. We are trying to help register people to vote, and we are helping people who might have a felony conviction on their record get their rights restored. We are also helping them to get their DMV IDs.
I didn't even know you could get your rights restored if you were a felon.
Yes, you can, and we will sit down with people and help them submit an online request. If their probation and all terms of their probation are done, we can do that. But we will also check, because depending on what state your conviction was in, you might already have your rights restored.
And you wouldn't even know it.
No.
Now, Carol, one of the things that I think is probably difficult when an organization gets off the ground is trying to develop partnerships so that people know that you're there to help, because this is an important service, but you know, the resources aren't always available. So how do you get the word out and join other groups?
Well, we initially had to reach out to a lot of local organizations that we thought would have the type of clients coming through that would require IDs. Our main point was not just getting IDs to vote, but to get jobs, to get assistance, to get rent. And that requires money, and it requires time, and sometimes solving complicated issues. We can't just walk up to people and say, do you need an ID? So we had to develop these relationships by going to networking events with other communities, going to community days, and attending a lot of these what we call tabling events, where we set up a table and we tell the community about us. So it took some time, but we were able to develop really good relationships now.
Tell me some of those partnerships.
Well, we have the League of Women Voters. We've got the League of Conservation Education Fund. Then we developed also communities with shelters, like Alexandria and Kennedy Shelter, and DCHS from Alexandria, as well as Carpenter Shelter, churches like Rising Hope, and Ventures a Community, which is a Fairfax group of community faith organizations and local organizations.
So I think people are really used to going to churches in certain places in the community for help, maybe shelters. But how do you build a relationship of trust when, like Carol said, Lori, you're asking people about something very personal, their ID?
Yeah, I mean, at first, when we partner with a organization where these people go, that kind of instills a little bit of trust to begin with. We do also get lots of clients who call us who don't necessarily go to these types of places, but they've seen our name listed elsewhere. So to give them some trust in us, we tell them like the actual process, that we help buy all of the documents that they're going to need to get their ID. So we'll help pay for birth certificates. We can help them get their social security card. We can drive them to the DMV and to the federal or government agencies where they need to get those documents. By having confidence as well, because it's a fairly long process, but we can say, we will definitely do it. We'll be able to help you get there. It can take some time, but we can definitely do it. And just listening to them. A lot of these people a lot of our clients just need to tell us their stories and have somebody who's confident in them who can help them.
And they're typically pretty vulnerable without an ID too. So I'm sure their stories are complicated. So Chris, can you tell me some of the stories or results that you've been able to achieve? The organization first, how has Spread the Vote doing?
Well, we're doing pretty well, and we're ratcheting up our efforts. In Virginia, we've helped over 500 people get their IDs. And that's increasing as we open up a few more chapters. Nationwide, we started off with 5 states, now we're in 9, and we have gotten 2,000 plus IDs for people who didn't have them before.
That is remarkable. That is wonderful work. Really, really. Carol, how is it to work with these clients? What's it like?
Well, you know, it's we really impact change. We get to really listen to them. We talk to them. We really care about their stories. We're not just sort of somebody pushing the paper. So, and they are really desperate, and they've tried so many times and failed. And we feel a sort of responsibility, and we take that commitment really seriously. And at the same time, when we see the results, how it impacts their lives and how much they keep contacting us and telling us how well they're doing, they got a job or they had a baby, and it really kind of makes a big difference, knowing that we're making a difference in people's lives.
Their success stories
Yes.
really, really help.
Yes.
Right? And what does it do for you to have that kind of story in your life? Because there are so many sad things to think about and bad news out there. So what does it feel like to change somebody's life or help them?
Yeah, it's great. I really enjoy it. I feel like I'm meeting a lot of people who I wouldn't normally meet in my everyday life, and it really expands my horizons, and everybody kind of has their own superpower. So it's kind of interesting to find out what each person's is. And their stories are very interesting, and I have learned a lot. I find it very rewarding.
Do you ever get tired? Do you ever feel like, this is just too overwhelming?
Mostly with government agencies, not with clients. The government agencies can really wear you down. I've spent a lot of time at the DMV and Social Security office, which aren't that great, but we do get to chat with our clients while
And
we're
since
there.
we have another minute, you said something before about a new ID. Can you tell me about that initiative, the Real ID?
So Virginia is one of the last states to get this ID called Real ID and put it in practice. They started issuing them in October last year, and after October 2020, you will be, if you want to get on a plane with your ID, into a federal facility with your ID, or onto a military base with your ID, you need to have something called a Real ID, and that requires that you go into the DMV and show quite a selection of documents.
So it sounds like you're going to have a lot of goals coming up. Is there any goal very specifically that you're looking to achieve?
Well, we're always looking for new volunteers to come and help us in our efforts. So anyone out there who might want to join us is welcome
if
to.
they don't want to join you, they could write a check.
They could.
Yes,
Because you
donations
said-
are always helpful.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
How much does it cost to get an ID?
The average amount's about $40, but even some birth certificates cost between $70 and $80, and they can take quite a lot of time. And so sometimes we have to do that as well as getting them some other documents. You might have to purchase a marriage certificate for someone. So
if
it
you
can cost
really
a
want to
lot.
help somebody, contributing could really change things for them. So how do people
great.
get in touch with you so that they can volunteer or help?
Well, they can contact us by email, either the Arlington at spreadthevote.org, or ours is alexandria@spreadthevote.org, or they can go to the main website of projectid.org or spreadthevote.org. And from there, they can just submit the form, and they will be put together with the nearest chapter, because we like to work close to our clients.
Well, aren't we so fortunate to have you in our area working for our friends and neighbors? You're like Nova's angels.
Thank you.
And
you
I
very
thank
much.
you for that. Continue your work, and I hope you'll come back to see us again.
Be happy
Thank you.
to do that.
Definitely will.
Excellent. And I want to thank all of you for watching this edition of the Sustainable Scoop. I'm Miriam Gennari. Back to the news desk. And if you'd like to learn more
All right, our
about
styrofoam mom. Thanks, Miriam, and her talk
their clients, please stay tuned.
at Spread the Vote.
Spread the vote.
Rock the
Spread
vote.
the
Get out
vote.
there and vote, 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 vote. Often as you can. Usually every 4 years or something like that. Every couple of
Well, every a year, and they have something.
Well, that's it for our. This is it for our last show in April 2019. Our post Earth Day show.
Yeah.
So we hope you enjoyed it, and we thank you all for watching and listening. And next week, if you're out there, we'll be here and we'll try it all again.
We'll be in May.
Have a safe week. Bye bye.